The Super League champions, Wigan, are in a battle to ensure they secure a top 8 place in the Betfred Super League. And they know a win in Perpignan against the Catalan Dragons would help them achieve that goal and ensure Super League football in 2018. But the Dragons, under new coach Steve McNamara, are trying to avoid the qualifiers too. So there's a lot at stake at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Now already in round 21 in the Betfred Super League, we have seen the leaders Castleford get home against Wakefield Trinity by the skin of their teeth. Thursday night, 25-24 the final score there. Then on Friday, a big win, an important win for the Huddersfield Giants as they seek a top 8 place, beating Widnes 40 points to 0. St Helens edging it to 19 points to 12 against Hull FC. And Warrington keeping alive their hopes of escaping from the qualifiers with that 50 points to 10 win over the Leeds Centurions. Catalan against the Wigan Warriors to come now, and just the one game to come on Sunday. What a big game it is. Second versus third as Salford take on Leeds at the AJ Bell Stadium. 3 o'clock kickoff for that on Sunday afternoon. And there it is. The table as it stands, still games to come in round 21. Castleford Tigers, though, have that 10-point lead at the top of the table, ahead of Salford. Leeds third. Those two, as I said, meet on Sunday. Hull fourth, Wakefield stay fifth, St Helens in sixth. Huddersfield have moved to seventh in the table, ahead of the champions, the Wigan Warriors, who have a 3-point advantage over Warrington in ninth place. Catalan then are 10th. Those two could still get out of trouble. At the moment, Widnes and the Leeds Centurions can't. They will be in the qualifiers. Who will join them? This game will have a big bearing on that. Well, the Catalan Dragons did their hopes good with that last-minute win against the Leeds Centurions last time out, but it was costly. 3 players suspended after that one. Yaha, Bird and Garcia all banned for this game. Myler injured, Mikel Simon injured as well. Tony Gigo is at fullback. Jody Broughton, Chris Naninu, Braden Williame is back. He's missed the last 5. He's in the centres. Vincent Dupont moves out to the wings. The halves are Luke Walsh and 19-year-old, just 19 years of age, Lucas Albert, who comes back in for a rare appearance. Then in the forwards for the Catalan Dragons, Remy Casti, ever present this season, Paul Ayton Samoa, Justin Horro, Louis Anderson and Jason Baitieri. And on the bench, the Catalan Dragons are weakened by those suspensions. Julien Busquet, Alrix da Costa, Thibaut Marglet and Lambert Balmas. The coach, his 3rd game in charge, Steve McNamara. Now then, the Wigan Warriors looking more like it as they get players back and fit. Sam Tompkins is at fullback. Tom Davis comes into the side. He missed the Widnes game last week after appearing for 15 in a row. He returns. Then it's Gelling, Gildart, Joe Burgess, George Williams and Thomas Luluai. In the forwards, Ryan Sutton, Michael McAloran, Frank Paul Nuasala, Liam Farrell, John Bateman and the captain, Sean O'Loughlin. And on the bench, Tony Clubb, Sam Powell, Taulima Tautai and Willie Isa. And the coach, Sean Wayne, who will not be in Perpignan, is not in Perpignan for this one. He's recovering after a hip operation, and we wish him a speedy recovery. Hope he's back in action soon and that he is comfortable and on the road to recovery after that operation, and that he is able to enjoy this game in Perpignan, where his Wigan side are in the charge of his assistant John Winder, and the Wigan side in the tunnel and preparing to take the field against Terry and Barry. A Catalan Dragons side weakened by those suspensions. They get that win against Lee, but then they lose 3 players. Myler out, Mikel Seaman, a try scorer, out as well. That's a big blow for them, isn't it?
That is a big blow for the Catalan Dragons side, but they've got to contend with a Wigan side that are getting players back. They're hitting form. They found ways of winning the game last week when they took on the Widnes Vikings. They scored 2 tries in the last 7 minutes, and Sean O'Loughlin was immense in that game. Catalan defence has been a problem for them all year, conceding 36 points last week, even though they got the win against League Centurions, with Julian Busquets scoring at the death. It was still one of those tough games which they come away with, but defensively built, they have got to be better.
I think it's going to be a battle in the forwards. You saw last week that Catalan, whenever League Centurions got near the line, they struggled to defend that line, the Catalan Dragons, and when Wigan played Widnes, they scored quite a lot of close-range tries. So I think it's going to be big and tough in the forwards. Wigan's fans happy to see Tony Clubb back in the colours, scored a try on his return last week. And I agree, Tez, I thought Sean O'Loughlin really led from the front, did the tough stuff, had a couple of really smart, cute passes, and one for one of the tries for the Warriors as well.
Fantastic support for the Wigan Warriors in Perpignan. This is always a popular trip to make for the Wigan fans, and they're there in good numbers and in good outfits as well. Plenty of cherry and white in Perpignan. The weather's fine. They've been out in the town making the most of their visits, and before this game they will join the Catalan Dragons fans in observing a minute's silence, as have all clubs across the game this weekend, in memory of Adam Cooper, the 31-year-old Culcheth Eagles player who died so suddenly and tragically last weekend. And the fans in the Gilbert Brutus will join in the minute's silence. Referee Robert Hicks, please, the man in charge, and his video ref for this game in Perpignan is Chris Kendall. The weather dry, a bit cloudy.
All right, Mark.
But warm,
Yeah, Peter, we're
very warm, and it's going to be a hard slog for these two teams, you fancy. And it's a crucial game, this. Wigan 8th in the table now, and looking to avoid the ignominy of having to take part in the qualifiers. It's a possibility, but a win here,
perfect,
and a win against Warrington, who they face on Thursday.
Not me.
And they would be safe.
Onside, guys,
the Catalan
onside.
Dragons likewise.
Listen to the call.
Were they to win this one, then they can keep their hopes of avoiding the qualifiers alive. So an awful lot at stake for these two sides in this game. Wigan get it underway. Samoa takes the ball up for the first hit for the Catalan Dragons.
Bill, there's plenty of pressure on both of these sides. Both need the 2 points, but the performance of how they play in this game over the 80 minutes has got to be key. Steve McNamara, look at the Wigan side. He'll know all the strengths and weaknesses of 8 of those players. He's coached them on the international stage. So it's going to be interesting to see what sort of game plan he goes into this game with.
Catalan Dragons left it to the last minute to beat the League Centurions last time out. Now they're up against another side from the metropolitan borough of Wigan. Just happen to be the champions of Super League as well, the Wigan Warriors, who've emerged from a very dodgy run by their standards after that victory over Widnes last time out. Their first win in 9, that was 6 defeats and 2 draws ahead of that. And of course the return of so many influential players is a big boost for them at this late stage of the season.
Well, ball control will be crucial, as it is in most games, but also a factor will be the weather, the conditions, the humidity. Of the interchanges and substitutes available, I reckon a lot of those interchanges and substitutions will be made with those middlemen. Power, size, and we've talked about the physicality of Catalan. Wigan will have to counteract that with what they've got available to them today.
On the last, and it's Thomas Luluai who puts the kick in. And Vince Dupont is underneath that one. Fuad Yahan not on the wing for this game, having been suspended for running in to join a scrap in that game against the Lee Centurions. So Dupont back on the wing, and he's very comfortable in that role.
Good line speed here from the Warriors. Michael McLaurin and Sean O'Loughlin getting up very quick, trying to take the space off the likes of Paul Layton. They don't want to let him get free.
Ayton with a good run for the Dragons, and here goes Tony Gigot. Gigot, short pass, finds Lucas Albert, just turned 19, seems to have been around for ages. And then Walsh drills the kick downfield, but scooped up by Sam Tompkins. Just still getting back into the game, really, only back for the last 3.
And Albert chose to keep that ball, just dab it 10-15 metres downfield, keeping it in the field of play, keeping the pace.
Well done.
He's got a big job on his hands, hasn't he, Lucas Albert? This fixture last year, I thought he was outstanding in the 10th year anniversary. When these two sides met, he's very robust, he's a thick-set lad, and I'm sure he'll look to take on the Warriors. It's a good kick downfield.
It's a deep kick as well, in the 40 as well. Tony Gigot with plenty of land, plenty of time available to pick up and carry that ball forward.
On the third play as well, Barry, on the third play.
Here's Walsh. Dupont now. So, cat and mouse early on in this one.
We're just feeling each other out. You're looking for that mistake. You're looking to buy that land. You want to make sure that you're very disciplined. Jason Battieri, he's a key player for the Dragons.
He's got a big job today. Greg Bird not available for the Dragons, and that role will be assumed by Battieri. Hard working, tenacious in attack and defence. He'll have to have a high work rate this afternoon.
The kick is taken by Tompkins on the run. Loves to do that, meet the ball when he's on the move, and brings it back.
Well, it was good play from the back three from Wigan. There was not much space to find them from Luke Walsh when he kicked that ball, and because the way the ball bounced up now, look where Wigan are.
Here's Liam Farrell. Robert Hicks, the referee, very busy talking to the Catalan players. Has been mentioned already that discipline has not been at its best this season, and it wasn't at times against the Lee Centurions.
The Warriors
Warriors
looking to shift it then. John Bateman just setting the line for them for the attack here on the last play.
Luluai, Williams then makes a little bit of room to put the kick in. Broughton is underneath it. Broughton is taken in the air, and Burgess protests his innocence. Chris Naninu just has a friendly word with him.
Well, Jody Broughton, when he goes up for this ball, it is a fair contest until that moment there when Joe Burgess just pulls hold of his right arm. And that's the correct decision from the referee, Robert Hicks.
He looks like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, doesn't he, Joe Burgess? That was very devious.
It's a difficult skill to master that. They've got to get up and leap and try and contest the ball. But at the moment the contest is lost, then how they get involved and secure, first of all, the player and try and kill the plays is a difficult skill. But Joe Burgess gives the penalty away, and Catalan try and get as far upfield as possible. Again, a high pace, high intensity to this game.
Here's Jason Baitieri now. One of the players who had a long spell out, and that was one of the reasons the Catalan season really has never caught fire. Baitieri out for 11 games. One of the key players for them. Very much like the Wigan Warriors.
John, make sure we're square next time.
Little kick.
Another early kick. That's on tackle 4, that one.
And here's Tom Davis back in the side. He missed the game against Widnes last week. recalled for this one.
Awesome, look how tight the Catalan players are defending. Paul Leighton started out very promising. He's running from dummy half an awful lot, and Wigan struggling to get forward here.
Gelling struggling. No penalties yet, and the pace has been relentless. 6 minutes gone, and there's hardly been a breather for these two sides.
Well, Paul Nuasala then just a straight-up carry, just making those meters, and this is where Sean O'Loughlin's very good. He knows when to play, he knows when he's got to do the hard stuff. He's also a key man on the last play.
Nice work, Louis.
Which it is. The kick comes in, and it's a good one. Broughton comes for it. The ball's batted back to Liam Farrell. Still on the last. Farrell gets the pass away. Little chip kick ahead from Oliver Gildart. And Gigot is able to watch that one bobble over the dead ball line.
Well, just too much weight on this from Gildart, but he does ever so well to reload, get behind Farrell, and then put the kick in. But Catalan here not wasting any time, trying to play the ball as quick as they can, turn the Warriors around.
They don't inspire confidence under those high kicks, do they? They didn't deal with the ones early on from Lee last week.
No, and if you think back to last night, it was one of those kicks, St Helens versus Hull FC, that was just too difficult to handle, and a major facet of any good team's armoury is a good kicking game, whether it's high up in the air, under pressure, along the floor. And Catalan and Wigan will know the importance. I think that was forward, was it? Just a little bit.
From Sam Moa to Lucas Albert. Little kick comes down the middle and again sits up nicely for Tompkins, but Walsh, the kicker, there to meet him and wrestling those two. And Sam Tompkins having a little set to with Chris Naninu, who's putting himself about early on in this game.
Without a doubt, what Catalan Dragons are trying to do is take all the gas out of the Wigan Warriors by keeping the pace, keeping the tackles, keeping the ball in play as much as possible. We're on just over 8 minutes now, you're right, there's been no mistakes. Every kick has been fielded in play, and there's the first penalty of the game.
Well, there's a couple of high-speed collisions in this game already, and just trying to slow Wigan down. That was a strong carry from Gelling. He gets over the top of Paul Leighton, he plants the ball down. You can just see Paul Leighton tugging on Gelling's legs, but his urgency to get up, win those rucks and win that penalty. And then all of a sudden now, from where you want to defend, you don't want to be down here. Strong run from Nuasala.
Wigan attacking that end of the ground where the Wigan supporters are gathered. Plenty of them there. They're not just in that end stand, they're in the terracing on that side of the field as we look. And it's Wigan edging their way closer to the line as Gelling plays the ball. Thought he got a knock then, it looks like just his boots come loose. Here's Ryan Sutton and he's lost the ball. Robert Hicks, the referee, spotting the knock on there.
When the big young prop forward goes into collision, you could see by his body angle what he was trying to do was set the play up. He goes in, he makes contact with a Catalan player, drops to his knees, and as he's dropping to his knees with pressure from Remy Casti and then Sam Moa coming in, and then the other player was Paul Leighton, he loses possession in front of the sticks. So it's a let-off here for Catalan.
It was the effort from Sam Moa. He joins that tackle. Sean Wayne often talks about the detail of his game. The detail of that player was play the ball at a set field position, but obviously if you drop possession, give it away, you fluff your lines.
Wigan without their coach Sean Wayne in Perpignan, missing his first game since he succeeded Michael Maguire in 2012. That's 195 games without a miss over 6 seasons, and recovering from that hip operation, a legacy no doubt from his playing days, and hopefully able to watch this one. And he'll be hoping that his side can fulfil the mission in Perpignan. A mission, if they accomplish it, will boost their chances very considerably of escaping from the qualifiers. But it's Catalan escaping at the moment, and Louis Anderson motoring infield. Then Walsh gets it back out there. Scrambling defence from Wigan, and they do well to stop Lucas Albert making any progress. Can Wigan hold out here? Gigot shapes to kick. Justin Horo now. Horo gets the pass away. Krishnan Inu gets the offload and it bobbles. And Wigan survive. Great defensive work.
He positions himself well, doesn't he, Sam Tompkins? He knew that Krishnan Inu, if he gets his arm free, he would look to offload the ball and play it back inside. But what about the run from Lucas Alba? Down the short side, recognised some space, went through, created the position that they're in now. And Wigan struggling now to get going forward as John Bateman gets an offload away.
Bateman flings the pass to Sean O'Loughlin, who likewise finds Oliver Gildart, who's back in for the last 4 games. He missed 11 after that neck problem. Farrell offloads.
Just look at the body language of these Wigan players. Sean O'Loughlin gets his second offload. I don't think he wanted the first one, never mind the second one.
Say, there's a body language steady on. Let's not get carried away here.
And sometimes it's the little players like this, Bill, that you need to do. You need to win the ground, you need to play the ball quick and then play on the front foot, kick on the front foot.
And get it out of
George Williams has done.
A good kick as well. Gigot back in the corner. Turns and sees Liam Farrell there to greet him. Assisted by Gildart.
Well, you've got to recognise and deal with all the threats that the opposition do when they're carrying the ball, where the numbers are, where the halves are trying to position the defenders. The halves for Catalan, the likes of Luke Walsh, will be looking up and dictating where he's playing, where he wants the game to be played.
Dupont plays the ball. Here is Jason Baitieri now. He'll be keeping well out of the way of referee Robert Hicks. He picked up a one-match ban for making contact with this match official when the sides played at Hull. So Jason Baitieri will be keeping well clear of the man in yellow. That is a great kick.
That's an outstanding kick, right on the try line. Tompkins picks up and finds a quality pass to Joe Burgess. Good tackle, almost lost the ball, Burgess.
It was Braden Williami who came in there, and then Davis tries to go on the outside.
I've been impressed with Davis every time you watch the youngster play. Wigan were under an awful lot of pressure there, but there's a couple of big players carrying the ball forward that helped them get out of those yardage situations.
Liam Marshall, he catches the headline for the tries that he scores, but it is Davis's work rate when he's coming away from his own line that complements young Liam Marshall. 2 cracking wingers and 2 prospects there for Wigan.
The kick downfield from McAlorum is a good one, and again Gigot comes across slightly nonchalantly, the fullback, and then decides to put a bit of footwork on the Wigan chasers. Good work from Tony Gigot there.
Well, the French international's got so much in his game, hasn't he, Tony Gigot? He's a player that can cause Wigan an awful lot of problems. That's why Thomas Luluai went up very quick, trying to cut that play down.
Dupont plays the ball. Jody Broughton in off his wing to seek a bit of work. Paul Ayton directing operations there. And here's Sam Moa, try-scorer against the Leeds Centurions last weekend. Sam Moa. Walsh. No Richie Myler for the Catalan Dragons in this one. Picked up a shoulder injury against the Centurions. You can always hear Jason Baitieri chipping away. You guarantee when you hear they're offside, they're offside.
Bill, there's a lot of talk with the Catalan players. Whenever there's someone carrying the ball, everyone's saying push with him. Let's make sure that we keep turning up in support.
Look at the players walking there in the Wigan shirts. I expect, we talked about it just before the start of the game, that a lot of those middlemen, a lot of those big engines will have to be rotated. Give them a rest when they can, the Wigan club. There's Joe Burgess charging forward for Wigan.
Remy Casti with the tackle, ever present in all 21. The Catalan Dragons prop forward and captain Casti, phenomenal workhorse for the club. As is this man, Sean O'Loughlin, 34 years of age and still putting it in like that. It's the 5th tackle. O'Loughlin gets wearily to his feet after that, and the kick just turns Broughton around.
Well, I can tell you there would have been some deep breathing going on there from the forwards in the Wigan shirts, thinking, holy moly, thank God for that. The ball's off the pitch and it can slow down and catch my breath. Here's Sean O'Loughlin, almost 400 games for the Wigan club. Sean O'Loughlin There's Albert with a break. Willie Army back inside, but enough bodies get in the way. If Louis Anderson is at just 4 or 5 years younger when he was a little bit more pacier, he scores that.
He's a big, powerful man, Christian Inouye, with the offload. Sam Tompkins knew it was coming on, knew exactly where Horrow and Jody Broughton were. And I think you look at the Wigan players, they'll be happy with George Williams stepping forward, knocking the ball off the pitch, buying a bit of time for them so they can recover.
Wigan looking for a double over Catalan, having beaten them back in April the 23rd it was. The final scoreline reflects a strong Wigan win, but Catalan wouldn't go away. Wigan led 16-0 1 point. Catalan got it back to 16-all, and then in fact took a 22-20 lead.
Beautiful footwork from Battieri then, avoided a defender, gobbled up 3 or 4 valuable metres.
And Catalan get the penalty.
Well, it's a lazy arm from Wigan. Tony Gigot, the danger man that he is, look, the balance, the step, footwork at the line, it was just a lazy arm from Sean O'Loughlin. He was beaten, his feet were planted, his left arm goes in the air.
Came off the back of Battieri's work there. It was a fast ruck after he broke the line, a quick play of the ball, giving his backs and his back 3 players, backfield players half a chance, and a broken defensive Wigan line.
17 minutes on the clock and still waiting for the first points in this game. Always an eagerly anticipated fixture in Perpignan. Wigan synonymous with the good things in the game as far as the Catalan Dragons supporters are concerned, and the Wigan fans enjoy the trip to this part of the world. Will they enjoy what they see? Well, it's been really physical so far in this game, but who is going to crack first? Here's Horrow. Aiton, scampering run from him. Walsh. Tony Gigot, Bateman slipping. Threat of obstruction there, but play continues. 10 metres out, that's the 5th tackle. Walsh, a little grubber kick from him, but nobody on the same wavelength until Williame arrives, but too late I think, and I don't think Braden Williame's kidding anybody there.
I think this is to see how to restart the game, this one.
It goes over the dead ball line.
Is it touched by a Wigan player before it goes over? There's Thomas Luluai, does he help it on its way, or is it... Nah, he's out.
Well, you can see that Thomas Luluai is trying to shield himself between the ball and the Catalan player, Williame. The ball's taken out
on the line, is out.
He doesn't even get the ball down, he doesn't ground it, the ball still goes out from the kick. I don't think Thomas Luluai touches this ball anyway, it'll be a tap 20. That'd be a couple of, whether there's water breaks or water carriers just been on the pitch whenever they can get on. But you can see here, Thomas Luluai, his left arm's in the vicinity, Williame touches it. This is a tap 20 for Wigan.
Chris Kendall is the video ref, just checking this, and as expected that's try refused, and they are back on the 20. Williame giving it a good go, but just arrived on the scene a little bit late. The first real threat from either side, and nearly 20 minutes on the clock.
Well, they look dangerous, don't they, Catalan? Look at the speed of them. Again, getting off the line, but they look like they've got an awful lot of energy. Wigan have already made a couple of changes. They brought Sam Powell on. I just saw a shot of Willie Isa. Here he is. So they're rotating the subs now. Not even 20 minutes, a quarter of the game gone. Difficult conditions in the south of France.
Isa protesting there because Paul Aiton seemed to be impeding him as he was trying to get to his feet to play the ball. Nothing coming from the referee. But Wigan moving forward. Williams, little dummy from him, then puts the kick in for Burgess to chase, and Burgess, ankle tap on him, still going, hands and knees, and bumps-a-daisy. Joe Burgess gets the first try of the game. And Wigan break the deadlock. A little kick, and Burgess, try number 14 of the season, has the fans on their feet. He was on his knees.
Well, George Williams looking to try and exploit the Catalan defensive line. Look, he pulls up all the players. He sees that Jordi Broughton and Chris Ninu have wedged in. There's space at the back, and then it's not the most acrobatic of finishes from Joe Burgess, but it still counts. Look at the effort from Chris Ninu. Ankle taps in, but Joe Burgess looking to pass the ball and still has enough to get over the try.
It was a bold decision to kick this ball because it was the third tackle. Still had plenty to play with, but Joe Burgess and George Williams, the amount of times we've seen that combination, a kick behind the line, Burgess and Williams have an understanding, a telepathic understanding and synergy that in that situation, 9 times out of 10, it ends up in a try.
Does it end up in a conversion? Yes, it does. Nonchalantly stroked. Here you go.
Well, he skirts across the line, George Williams. A couple of dummy runners, a couple of players interested in the Catalan shirts. And I don't think for 1 minute that wasn't set up, whether they've looked at it during the week and said, if Jordi Broughton's in the line, we've got 20, 25 metres to play with, just put it behind.
That's how good of a player George Williams is, that he spots that Jordi Broughton has shot the line. He's come jamming up to try and cut the player down, thinking that it was going to be a face pass from George Williams. He recognised what had happened, then he kicked the ball behind him, and it was good discipline chase from Joe Burgess.
11 tries in the last 9 games now for Joe Burgess, and Williams converting. Wigan lead by 6 points to 0. The sun breaking through the cloud cover in Perpignan. And Joe Burgess alert to the opportunity there.
Good tackle, Horo right up on Willie Isa.
Third try against the Catalan Dragons this year for Burgess. He got 2 against them in April in that 42-22 win.
You feel that Wigan needed that try. Good carry from Frank Paul Nuasala, but Paul Layton, he runs straight into the little PNG international, lost the ball.
Fair play to Paul Layton. Ball goes over the top. Gelling playing basketball.
Well, he flings himself around Paul Layton, having watched him during his time at Leeds and Catalan and Wakefield. When he first came into the country, has no regard for his body, flings himself at anybody. I think he has the theory that the harder I run at you, it doesn't matter how big you are, the better my chance of coming out on the right side of that conflict or collision.
That certainly helps him, doesn't it? Because he's going to be picked out. He's a smaller defender, so he's got to get off the line and he's got to try and meet Frank Paul Nuasala as quick as he can, hit him, stand his ground and try and dislodge the ball, and that's exactly what he did.
We've got 22 minutes on the clock. Frank Paul Nuasala has not been rotated yet. Normally he takes quite an early break, but his engine will be tested, as will the likes of Sam Moore. You'd think that those players in the Catalan shirts would be a little bit used to, or more used to, playing in these conditions.
Well, his engine's very well run in. 30 years of age, Frank Paul Nuasala, and this is his 33rd consecutive appearance. Some miles on the clock, but motoring very smoothly.
If you're honest, Bill, you look at Frank Paul Nuasala, the way he starts this game, he's probably the best go-forward that they've got on the pitch at the present.
Well, this guy's not bad, Sam Moa. He's in good form at the moment. So is this man, Julien Bousquet, has got a lot of admirers. Gets the pass away, Aiton. Catalan looking to respond. They are 11 metres out. Here is Walsh now. Walsh to Louis Anderson. Hurdles the challenge of Nuasala and then thinks, I'll have a go there. Takes on Sam Powell, who makes the tackle. Aiton urgently trying to get things going. Gigo puts a little kick in. A knock on, I think, from Williams.
We're looking to just dab that ball through the line. Maybe another repeat set of 6. I'll come up with a try, but Catalan again, more pressure here on Wigan's line. They've been very good. The way that they've played the game, the way that they've controlled it, Luke Walsh in particular, along with Paul Layton. And if you watch Paul Layton when he goes behind the ruck, he's gesturing to his forwards where he wants them to run. So it's easy for the likes of Remy Casti, who takes a breather on the bench. They know what's expected of them. All they need to do is hit the ball nice and flat, get over the advantage line and keep laying those foundations.
Fair play. Frank Paul Nuasala, 33 consecutive appearances. Remy Casti, 44 consecutive appearances in the most taxing role probably in the team. That's some effort, isn't it?
And at a stage of the career, both of them in their 30s. Remy Casti 31, Sam Moore 31, Frank Walnuasala into his 30s. They understand the game now, know what they're capable of, but this is taxing and testing for both sets of forwards.
It is hot, high 20s I think. It's great if you're enjoying the scenery and the bars in Perpignan. Not so much fun if you're charging around on the field like these guys are. Ayton, come on, he yells. I think more at Robert Hicks than at his teammates. Gigot trying to wrong foot the Wigan cover, but Farrell will have none of it. He makes the tackle. Inu gets the pass away. Bang in the middle of the post now with Bousquet, who is held. Ayton on the last. Walsh, little grubber kick comes in. They're trying to go round the outside, and Dupont I think might have got there. Davis I don't think could get it down. Was it Tom Davis? And Dupont did, but it's going to be another video ref decision.
Well, Robert Hicks is just concerned about one or two things around that try. It was a lovely kick. Walsh and the very impressive Lucas Albert set up. Now, does Dupont get it down cleanly? As we watch the play unfold, he's onside. There's no problem with onside, offside. There's a fair contest while both players are contesting that ball before Dupont gets it. There's a collision, nothing illegal there. No touches, this is a try for me.
Dupont grounds it. Vince Dupont surely will be credited with the try. He got one against Lee last week. And Robert Hicks, his inclination was that it was a try. What's Chris Kendall, the video ref's decision? It is. Catalan responds. 9th try of the season for Vincent Dupont. And a well-worked try it was.
Perfect response to Wigan's try. Again, another kick. A dink behind the defensive line. Lovely set-up play. Walsh to Albert, who runs sideways, puts the kick through, and that's a quality try.
Julian Bousquet does well as well, because he attracts 4 players when he carries the ball. You can see the Wigan players, they're moving out. Lucas Albert at the line, and it was a fair contest from Vince Dupont on young Tom Davis to score the try. And the way that Catalan have started, they certainly mean business in this game. Defensively, they've been very strong. And obviously what they're carrying the ball, they're making good meters.
Alex Chan just on the sidelines there with the headphones on, having a word. The football manager for the Catalan Dragons, former player. And now then, Luke Walsh. His goal-kicking rate dipped after last week's performance against Leeds, from 87 down to 86. And that's across the face of the post. Walsh is furious with himself.
He'll be furious that he's missed that conversion, but be happy with the try and the build-up in that play as well, controlled by his half-back partner, Lucas Albert. You know, it's good when you see young half-backs going at the line, trying to pull defenders out. Then all of a sudden you read what's in front of you. Exactly the same as when Wigan scored the try. It was George Williams that did exactly that. You're looking for the defensive error in the opposition. As soon as that happens, you've got to think straight away what's the next play.
The Burgess restarts. That's a hanging restart, and there's a lot of standing around and watching it. And then somebody is taken out. And I think Wigan will get the penalty.
Yeah, well, Paul Ayton's going to go up for that ball. He comes running forward. He mistimes it. The ball goes behind him. And then you can see that he runs into John Bateman. He tries to block John Bateman's run. And I'm sure there's 2 points here. Yes, there is. George Williams with the kicking tee.
Back over that line.
But he runs straight into his line. Shoulder charges John Bateman. He hits the floor, and the referee, Robert Hicks, awards the penalty.
That is a wonderful sight at the back of the sticks there. All the travelling Wigan fans enjoying the glorious weather. It's
It's
beautiful to look at.
Wonderful sight if you're proprietor of an establishment in Perpignan this weekend.
I bet they'll sink a few. Thirsty work in Catalan.
Not just Perpignan, down the coast in Lorette as well. Williams should be 2 more points for the Warriors here, bang in front of those posts. A gimme for Williams, a gimme for the Warriors.
I think he made contact with him, yeah.
Smart kick off Joe Burgess. He's got a good long kick on him. Obviously it's high. We've made the comparison between him and Pat Richards before. Pat Richards, an expert at kicking the ball off at the beginning. He's a good goal kicker, or he was a good goal kicker, Pat Richards, but Joe Burgess doing a good impression of him.
Great kick, Tony, great kick, Toto. That's a good kick, isn't it? Into the corner. Gelling brings the ball back. As good as most forwards bringing the ball back, Anthony Gelling.
Get square. Hold.
Wigan 8th in the table going into this game, and Catalan Dragons 10th. Catalan, really, if they don't win this one, then their points difference is such that their hopes of escaping from the bottom 4 will be just about gone. Talima Tautai off the bench. He's missed the last 2. He'll be fresh. He'll bring some zip to the Warriors' effort.
Well, the question is, at this 28-29 minute mark, is it time to open it up? Do they start looking for a little bit of second phase, some offloads, or do they keep it tight? The opening 28 minutes has been about forceful carries, gaining metres and playing the game at the right end of the pitch.
Well, another canny kick, but into the arms of Tony Gigot. Lively full-back. He got a hat-trick against Wigan back in 2015 in a memorable 58-16 Catalan Dragons win. But largely it's been the Wigan Warriors who've dominated these games.
Positioned himself well then, didn't he, Tony Gigot? Then Jody Broughton, now Vince DePaul. See both sets of wingers and fullbacks bringing the ball away, helping some of the bigger forwards.
Margolay plays the ball. Here is Sam Moa. Sam Moa stands, says referee Robert Hicks. Sam Moa just taking his time about doing that. The kick is launched. The Catalan fans jeering. They thought their man was hit late. Here is Tom Davis. Has Welsh ancestry, I think. I wonder if he could be a World Cup pick.
Well, certainly the way he's played this year, I'd definitely pick him. I think he's been exciting. He's looked strong when he carries the ball defensively. He knows how to read those plays. And look at the intent of which Catalan are hitting. Him working with the referee, the markers are set.
Here is Talima Tautai. Only got 2 tries in his Wakefield career, and those were both against the Catalan Dragons in 2014. Talima Tautai. Here's John Bateman now. Bateman floats to Tautai. Williams does well. Everybody taken by surprise, I think, there.
Again, are they consciously deciding to loosen up and try and find some space with an offload or 2, or is it just organically happening?
Clear.
The ball is drilled downfield, but too strong. And Gigot will bring it back to the 20.
Just too much on that kick from Sam Tompkins. I tell you what, though, Bill, that Thibaut Margolay, he's got some sting in his tackles, the number 25 for Catalan. Just have a little look out for him. He's okay.
More Super League action to look forward to next week. More Wigan Warriors to look forward to. And always a big game, no matter where they are in the table. Wigan Warriors against the Warrington Wolves next Thursday, 7 o'clock. Sky Sports 3 for that one. And there's more action on Friday evening. And what a match this should be. The Kasava Tigers against the Salford Red Devils, second in the table at the moment. First versus second then. Friday, 7:30 for that one. On Sky Sports 3, Catalan Dragons have a penalty.
Well, Wigan just trying to buy a bit more time then around the ruck. They give the penalty away, and Catalan now, when they get close to Wigan's line, they look to move them around, promote the ball to the edge. They've done all the hard work either side of the ruck, carrying the ball forward like Louis Anderson does here.
Here's Louis Anderson now, about 12 metres out. He plays that ball. Now they're about 12 metres out as Bousquet plays it. Walsh. Here is Thibaut Margalet. Ayton finds Walsh. Walsh, little grubber kick from him, and Sam Tompkins has to bat it over the dead ball line with Gigot breathing down his neck.
Well, that was the perfect kick to put in. Sam Tompkins had no option. Get rid of the ball, nullify the threat. Some really good stuff from Samoa having a breather on the sideline. Julien Bousquet, Margalet, the substitutes came on. Got some valuable territory and, more importantly, quick play of the balls, which doesn't allow Wigan to get back, get set and prepare for what's coming.
Still chattering away on the sidelines, Jason Baitieri having a breather. Goal line dropout.
Those sorts of kicks from Luke Walsh, that's the reason why Catalan brought him in from St Helens. The game management close to the line. Tony Clubb goes hunting. Remy Casti.
Casti's still out there. Others are getting a breather, but Remy Casti isn't. Here is Thibaut Margalet. Former Catalan junior Margalet.
Still not putting those Catalan players to ground, the Wigan Warriors. It's no good getting good contact unless you control it.
Walsh, Margalet. Here is Horo now. Horo is decked by Williams. Catalan lifting as half-time approaches. Pass out wide, but that's well dealt with by Burgess as Broughton took the pass. Gildart was there as well to make the tackle. Walsh in the middle of the field now. Margalet once more, seeing plenty of action. Ayton sizing up the options. They're running it. It's with Inu. Inu does get the pass away, and Broughton can't take the final ball as it bobbles over the top, and that'll be the turnover. Disappointing end for Catalan there.
Yeah, I agree. He's the indicator though, isn't he, Luke Walsh, on the final plays. He's got the experience. He chooses to go to the right-hand side, give the ball to Chris Inu. It was a nice early ball to Inu, the former Kiwi international. Give him that ball early, let him set his line. Unfortunately for Steve McNamara, the Catalan coach, they just couldn't come up with any points on that occasion.
Been a really tough, exciting first 40 minutes, first 34 minutes. Very even. Wigan just ahead with that by virtue of the goals they've kicked. And they get the penalty.
There's been very few penalties in this game, and if there has been a penalty, it's been one of the teams trying to slow their opposition down. That's been the pace and intensity of this match. It's been a high-quality match. We saw last night Saints versus Hull FC. Dreadful conditions, and the skills suffered a little bit. There's Steve McNamara. I think he'd be content and happy with his side's approach to this game. Very patient so far.
To the back of that older stand at the Gilbert Brutus. Burgess can't take that pass. Walsh can. Walsh will try and get away, but Walsh is bundled into touch by Williams. And it'll be head and feet to the Catalan Dragons.
Well, George Williams looking to find his winger. Joe Burgess with a first ball. He wasn't quite there. He wasn't up to speed with George Williams. What he was thinking then, when Luke Walsh gets that ball, he thinks that he's in the clear.
Jody Broughton was just the wrong side. Luke Walsh not got the pace he had a couple of years ago, and you felt that Jody Broughton's presence behind him. It was a free play. Might have been better just dinking the ball over, maybe a little chip. Well, every time there's a break in play, there's Bird and Myler, two ball handlers, two support players. He's been good, Lucas Albert. He's certainly doesn't look like he's missed the last 5 games.
Well, he's
playing in the under-19s for those 5 games.
A bigger part to play maybe with Myler moving on to Leeds.
Good player, good player.
Here is Jody Broughton. Into the last 5 minutes of the first 40. Catalan looking to come back level. Here's Julien Bousquet. Got good footwork for a big man, Julien Bousquet. Walsh drifting across the field. Now finds Krishnan Inu. Inu is tackled, says the referee. Broughton. Walsh. Margalet once more. That's the 5th tackle. Walsh just pointing out to his left. They go back infield, little kick, ricochets, and Wigan come up with the ball. And it's Thomas Luluai, I think, who dropped on that. He did, and comes up with it.
Catalan have got more than one set of pivots. They've got the 6 and 7, Walsh, Albert, but they've also got Tony Gigo, who has a full skill set as well. He puts that kick in, but well dealt with by the Warriors.
Plenty of commitment from the Catalan Dragons. This Steve McNamara's third game in charge since he returned from working on the staff at the Warriors in New Zealand. Back in Europe. And hoping that he can salvage something for the Catalan season, as Luluai puts the kick in downfield.
Good defensive set from the Dragons, restricted the metres that Warriors were making early on in the game, and then putting pressure on the kicker Thomas Luluai. Steve McNamara will be very happy with this opening 36 minutes. They've certainly turned up with the right attitude, the Dragons.
It's been patient by the Dragons, and we can't say that too many times, especially in 2017's. The Catalan Dragons side are prepared to go set for set, work behind a good, strong kicking game, and defend with the attitude that these Dragons have defended today.
Very slow play, the ball. And Catalan fans getting on the back of referee Hicks. Here is Walsh now. Walsh to Krishnan Inu. That's the 5th tackle. And Walsh, will he hoist one? We haven't seen many up in the air. That one is, Tompkins comes for it, claims it, and is then claimed and loses the ball.
It's gone backwards though.
Tompkins pointing to his own try line and saying it went backwards.
Yeah, I didn't see a knock on. Tompkins catches this ball, fumbles it on the floor. Did it go back?
I think when he's going down to the ground, I think he loses the ball and then it rolls backwards. It's always difficult for the referee to make that call, but when he's going down, he's not got full control over it. And then you look at the Catalan players who were all in the eye line, who were in the tackle with Tompkins. I think that is a knock-on.
Sam Tompkins feeling hard done by there. Had that long spell out, 20 games he missed after the foot injury, which followed the knee injury. So he's still just getting back to his best. Just 4th game back now. Williame cuts back in field, bang in front of those posts. Aiton looking for somebody. That somebody is Remy Casti. Catalan in the closing couple of minutes of this first half, hoping to find a way through the Wigan defence. They come back on the inside again. It's Louis Anderson who is tackled. Bateman, good work from him. Gigo, Walsh, and Bousquet will hammer it into the Wigan defence again, but Farrell and Talima Tautai stand firm. Aiton now with Walsh. Walsh finds Horo. Horo skipping back in field, looks to offload, it goes backwards.
He offloaded to himself then.
To Albert and to Tony Gigo now. On now to Braden Williame. Williame, the Fijian international, cuts back in field. 5th tackle. Wigan doing well to withstand this pressure into the last minute. Oh, that's a stray pass. Albert was not anticipating that. And that'll be the turnover. It went forward. And that's disappointing again for the Catalan Dragons. In that part of the field, they didn't put any pressure on Wigan.
Yeah, disappointing attack from Catalan, but what about the defence from the Warriors? The defensive structure was there. Nobody was jumping the line. Catalan were asking questions. They came up with all the answers though then. Again, it's a must-complete set of 6 here for the Warriors.
Weary players. It's hot, still.
And it's just about getting through to half-time now, Bill.
And it has been a very, very fast game. Very few pauses in play. So it's been a full-on 40 minutes. Ball in play a long time. Ball in play now with Willie Isa.
Be interesting to see what the last 10 minutes are like. Who's got the energy when it comes down to those final minutes of the game.
Final seconds here of the first 40. The ball's gone forward. Now then, how keen are the Catalan Dragons to try and capitalise on this? They're not. Well, Inu was hoping to. It ricocheted of the Wigan man, and referee Robert Hicks calls time. Steve McNamara and Mick Monaghan come downstairs, and he'll be pretty pleased with that first 40 minutes effort from his side. They trail 8-4, but they are certainly making Wigan work hard for this win that the Warriors are seeking to make certain of a top 8 finish. There is work to do for them, though. Coming up live on Sky Sports tomorrow, it's day 4 of a fascinating first test between England and South Africa, and the action starts from 10 a.m. on Sky Sports 2, and more action in the Formula 1 world. The Austrian Grand Prix, 11:30 a.m. Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports F1 for the Austrian Grand Prix action. Still plenty of action to come, you feel, in Perpignan, where at half-time the Wigan Warriors lead the Catalan Dragons 8 points to 4, a try apiece, but George Williams has kicked both the goal attempts that he has been presented with to give the Warriors that narrow half-time lead, but a very even first half between these two sides.
It was a good start as well, though, wasn't it, from the Dragons, that they seemed to handle the conditions better than the Warriors. And Lucas Alba, who's in for Richmond, look at the footwork there, stands up Anthony Gelling, leaves him for dead. They're looking to put the ball back on the inside. Louis Anderson's the man who's pushing up. Unfortunately for the Dragons, they don't come up with the tries. Good defence from the Warriors to get back and prevent the Dragons from scoring a try. You can see that the Warriors players are turning up, they're pushing back in numbers. And then they get, again, good field position, clever kick from Walsh. Unfortunately, Braden Williami just can't get there enough. Thomas Luluwai done a tremendous job to get himself between Williami and the ball. The ball goes out dead, but then when Wigan did have the ball, they had that field position. George Williams, look at this, the reaction. Drops the ball off to Liam Farrell, realises that Geordie Broughton is up in his eye line, he's in the line, there's space at the back, and Joe Burgess, well, it's not the most acrobatic of finishes, but it's a try for Warriors.
Well, it took 20 minutes for Wigan to get on the scoreboard, and Joe Budgie Burgess does his impression of Joe the Slug Burgess, but it was 4 points, 6 points for Wigan, and the reply from the Dragons was just as clever, just as purposeful. There is a bit of a collision there, but Dupont legally gets the ball down and gets the Dragons on the scoreboard. The Dragons have tried, they've promoted the ball, they've had energy, and in Luke Walsh and Lucas Alba, they're certainly throwing plenty at the Wigan Warriors.
Yep, a lot more to come in this game, you feel. It's hot, it's a very physical encounter as well. Both sides throwing everything at each other, some great defensive stints going on out there, and it's very, very close. A close one to call this. Tends to be big blowout scores between these two. Not a lot in it at this stage. 8-4. The Wigan Warriors lead. The coach back home recovering from a big hip operation. He needs a tonic. Can the troops provide it? Another 40 minutes will tell. There's more Super League action to look forward to on Sky Sports next week. We will see the Wigan Warriors in action again. They take on the Warrington Wolves, and that's 7 o'clock Sky Sports 3 for that one. Then on Friday, first versus second, as the Castleford Tigers take on the Salford Red Devils. Second at the moment. Salford have to play Leeds on Sunday, but that's Friday 7:30 Sky Sports 3 for the Castleford Tigers against Salford. So two great games to look forward to. Could have a great second half to look forward to in Perpignan as well, because not a lot to choose between these two sides. 8-4 Wigan lead at half-time, having won emphatically back in April against the Catalan Dragons, 42-22 on that occasion, you get the feeling this isn't going to be that sort of high point scoring game.
No, I'm looking more towards the back end of the game. Some weighty players leave the changing room. They know they've had a difficult first 40 minutes, just one try apiece. Both sides have had their efforts and energies rewarded, but defensively I've been very impressed with both sides.
And I think that's probably why both tries have come from kicks, because defences have been so hard to break down.
Catalan discipline, we talked about that early in the game, and actually by their standards they've been squeaky clean today.
They've been focused on the job at hand. They've been very disciplined in their approach to what they've got in terms of the job, the role, the responsibility.
Can you see Steve McNamara influence already?
Well, that seems like the obvious solution. That seems like the Catalan Dragons have gone out with a purpose.
Gelling leaps to get the restart then. The game resumes and Wigan in possession. Gelling under pressure from Louis Anderson and Remy Casti. And Casti up high on Tom Davis there.
Get square, hold, go.
And a couple of strong challenges early up. Remy Casti, Thibaut Margalet again getting himself involved. The number 25 for the Dragons.
Hold, go, good work.
Out to prove a point, Thibaut Margalet getting a big chance in this one with the absentees, Bird, Mikel Simon, Fouad Yaha, Ben Garcia, all absent, Richie Myler as well for the Catalan Dragons, so it's an opportunity for one or two of the Catalan fringe players like Margalet and Lambert Belmas, who's also on the bench, as the kick is fielded by Tony Gigot.
Both sets of coaches will have talked about the ruck speed. In conditions like this, when the ball's getting greasy and it's hot and you need to make sure that you're the right side of the ball, you need the possession, you need to slow this ruck down, work with the referee, don't give penalties away. This is a nice strong carry from Vince DePaul, coming in from the sideline and helping his forwards out.
Just over the halfway line from DuPont, back infield to this young prop, Thibaut Margalet. Walsh, now then Justin Horro getting back into the swing of things. Horro, he was out for 10 with an injury. The kick comes in, Tompkins is underneath it. He's tackled by his own player initially. I think Liam Farrell was there first.
Well, Liam Farrell trying to protect Sam Tompkins. He didn't have to move, he didn't have to change his line. Liam Farrell, he was like acting as a block, knowing that Chris Ninu was coming in behind, putting pressure on Tompkins.
I wonder whether Inu will get 2 tackles for being involved in that particular collision. Seemed to tackle both Wigan players, but again, both sets of both teams, both sets of players content to just get to the end of the set. Not too much in terms of expansion or creativity, but it's only early yet.
Here is Tompkins now, and Luluai kicks deep at the end of that set, and Gigot retrieves the ball and then runs it back towards George Williams.
Well, that's the kick he was after, Thomas Luluai. Tony Gigot will close down the back player, but he's looking to find space. That's the main objective of a kicker when he's putting boot to ball.
Here is Braden Williame. Robert Hicks keeping a close eye on things. Gigot just had a little slap or lashed out at somebody in back play there. Robert Hicks spotted that.
I like the talk with the Dragons, what they're doing. They're talking about pushing up. Again, I'll mention it again, the pushing up, supporting the ball carrier, don't let him go on his own.
Walsh just has to stoop to catch that ball, but it's a good kick nevertheless. Tompkins on his own try line.
Second high kick of this second half. I think he took a mental note of Sam Tompkins and his difficulty in dealing with one of those high ones just at the back end of the first half. But Sam Tompkins, with nobody around him, will eat those up all day and all night.
The two sides testing each other out.
The condition of both sets of players and the conditioning, they don't seem to be gassed, even though at different times you see them breathing in, trying to get some energy back in the lungs, but they quickly find that second wind and get back into it.
Up to the halfway line. Here is Bateman now. And again, the kick from Luluai. The two sides just testing each other out at the start of this second half. Just the 4-point margin between them.
And even though it might not look a lot, but the likes of Remy Casti and Louis Anderson getting off the line and trying to put pressure on the man who's kicking the ball. Again, Dupont with a strong carry. The outside backs for Catalan, the first 3 players, they're hitting nice lines behind the ruck. Look, easy plays. Look, and this is the reward. It all comes on the back bill of the carry from Vince Dupont. Hits a hard, aggressive line, lands on his front. The next play is easier then. Braden Williami, well, he picks out Gelling and Bateman, and it's just too long for the refs liking Robert Hicks.
Talked about them first half, boys.
So that penalty takes Catalan deep into Wigan territory, and here's Louis Anderson, and Wigan just a little bit slow off the mark there. Luluai eventually stopped his fellow Kiwis' progress, and Julian Bousquet hopping backwards towards that try line. It was at that end he scored last week to seal the victory against the Centurions. The dummy from Justin Horrow, and Horrow trying to get there as well. Good defence, Tompkins, Farrell and Powell in there to make the tackle. And the penalty, Liam Farrell leaving a hand in there.
Wigan really struggling at the ruck, really struggling at the play of the ball. They can't either put the Catalan players down on the deck or control the speed. There's Liam Farrell, just leaves his hand in. Horrell, whether he knows what he's doing or what, he forces the hand of the referee. Just watch how many times Wigan are back, set and ready when Catalan play the ball.
Go Liam off that ball.
Aiton going for it himself, but Farrell again there to make the tackle. Tompkins and Willie Isa assisting.
Get up, Paul. Go.
Get up, Paul, says referee Robert Hicks. He was on his back with a couple of Wigan players on top of him.
Hold.
Again, good defence. Tony Clubb that time. Catalan hammering at the Wigan line. Margolay is tackled. Willie Isa in there again. They're right back on their own try line. The Wigan fans that end of the field urging their team on as Gigot looks to find a way through. Gets the pass away to Walsh. Walsh finds Casti, and Talima Tautai wrestles him, and Isa again is down low.
Release the ball, T. Last.
5 tackles gone, I beg your pardon. Walsh, little chip kick. Dupont will challenge for it. Dupont has it. Has he grounded that? They come away with Gelling. The referee says play on. Catalan is celebrating. Gelling is going the length of the field. Comes back in field. Finds Williams. Williams has got support as well. Gelling is there still. And Williams will go all the way. What an extraordinary try is it awarded. It looked as though Dupont had scored at one end. It's Williams who scored for Wigan at the other, surely.
They're going to have to go back. Have to go back. Well, for me, if it's a no try,
it's a try at the other end. It's definitely.
It is.
I think it's a try for Catalan.
So why allow? I mean, if the Wigan try is allowed to be given, it is an amazing try. But for me, he gets this ball down.
Well, the reason why the referee allows the player to play on in case Vince Dupont, as he's going to ground the ball, if he loses the ball, he's got to play on. He's got to play the advantage. The advantage would have been to Wigan. So that's the reason why he didn't call the game to a halt. He didn't stop the play. If Vince Dupont loses that ball,
full marks to Gelling and Wigan for playing on. When I first watched it at full speed, when it happened, I thought it was a try. It's a good leap and catch from Vincent Dupont. And watching things like this in slow motion, I think, doesn't give you a true picture.
It's a try. That's a try.
I thought it was a try at full speed. You watch it at slow motion. Again, that's a distorted way of looking at this.
Well, I tell you what, they had controversy on this ground last week in the game against the Leeds Centurions with that Sam Hopkins try. This time, it goes in favour of the Catalan Dragons. Vince Dupont. Anthony Gelling, maybe if it hadn't been another player, they wouldn't have tried it. It had to be Gelling, didn't it? He'd always try something like that. And he convinced Robert Hicks.
Well, and do you know what? If they would have gone up the other end of the park and was tackled with the ball, they would have kept the possession, because Robert Hicks didn't know what to do. He couldn't go back then and say, well, let's have a little look at what's gone on.
Sorry, Tez, and again, another try from a kick. Vincent Dupont scores his second try of this game, but is as a consequence of a high kick, a contest.
That's why we have to do what we do.
And again, Luke Walsh and Robert Hicks just having a quick conversation, and even Robert Hicks needs to rehydrate. That's how quick it is.
What it must be like inside that costume as well in that sort of weather.
You never know, it could be the 20th mascot inside that costume.
Oh dear,
It could be. I wonder how many.
I hope they wash it occasionally.
And well done to Robert Hicks as well. Pulling out the players, explaining the reason why he went with the call that he did. He was always going to go back and check what had happened. Good take, wasn't it, from Vince DePort?
But if that try isn't scored, is Robert Hicks then entitled to go all the way back? I think that's where the confusion might be.
Walsh on target, Catalan ahead for the first time in the game.
It was a perfect kick here from Walsh. Well, whenever you kick the ball, you're looking to drop it down on a defender that's not moving. It's easier for the attackers to run onto the ball, leap over the opposite. Vince DePort does that, comes down with the ball. He's still got Thomas Luluai to deal with. He spins out of that tackle, and it's a good start in the second half for the Dragons.
Well, Burgess's last restart caused all sorts of problems for the Catalan Dragons, and they ended up conceding a penalty which cost them 2 points. Will they be switched on for this one? They lead 10-8 in Perpignan. It's a more conventional restart, and Chris Naninu is underneath it. He's got such a nonchalant style, Chris Naninu, hasn't he?
Looks like he's playing seven-a-side, doesn't he?
Looks
like he's playing touch and pass. Magalhaes isn't playing touch and pass. He's run hard, tackled hard during this stint. Hasn't let anybody down.
He's so versatile, isn't he, Chris Ninu? He could play anywhere in the forwards. He's that big and powerful. Got good footwork, good speed, good ball handling.
Hold, go. Time it better, Talima.
Referee Robert Hicks really getting through some work in terms of communicating with the players as Busquets plays the ball. Here is Walsh now. Up the middle of the field come the Catalan Dragons.
Last. Move now, Sam.
That's the fifth tackle.
Hold, go.
As Magalhaes plays the ball.
Bill, I'm going to say it now, Magalhaes, Remy Casti's double.
Davis has put that ball down and he's under pressure. It went backwards. The young winger will breathe a sigh of relief there. Again, that high kick causing problems for the Wigan rearguard.
Well, they're hunting in numbers, and again, it was a good chase. An onside chase from the Dragons, and you can just tell they've upped the ante. They can sense that Wigan are struggling.
And it's the Catalan fans who are making themselves heard now, urging their side on, sensing maybe another memorable occasion against the mighty Wigan Warriors, like that 2006 one in February 2006, when 11,000 fans were in Perpignan to see Catalan open up their Super League campaign against the Wigan Warriors. The long kick downfield, Gigot is underneath it.
Well, Wigan look to shift the ball. They tried to find that space over on the left-hand side. It goes to Liam Farrell, who is running out of space, and he decides to kick the ball. It's what they do down here now. These little efforts, these little plays down near the Dragons' own line, but been very impressed with this left-hand side. Braden Williami, Vince DePaul, the way that they've carried the ball back.
38-30. Catalan won on that night in 2006. But they haven't enjoyed much success against the Wigan Warriors since then. The Warriors have won 21 and drawn 1 of 30 encounters against the Catalan side. And a long way to go in this one. A long way to go for that kick as well.
Was too much weight, too much strike on that ball. And again, referees get criticised, but I do like the way that Robert Hicks is working with both sets of players. He's talking to them, and they know the standards that he requires in this game. Another dominant challenge from the Dragons defenders.
And they're offside just two.
You gotta use your arm, Louis.
No, I beg your pardon.
It's the footwork
charge.
It's the
footwork. Louis Anderson who lunges at one of the Wigan players as he's carrying the ball forward.
It's Willie Icer that carries the ball forward, spins out of a tackle, uses his footwork at the line.
It's a welcome penalty for the Wigan Warriors.
Hall now, Hall, get square.
Been under a bit of pressure at the start of this second half. They've conceded that try. Sean O'Loughlin.
Move, Paul, get square, Louis. Hold.
Plays the ball 30 metres out. Williams, Lulawai, Tompkins, quick hands for Davis, and Davis will go on the outside, and Tom Davis, can he get down? I think they've bundled him into touch. No try, says the referee.
Yes, mate.
Well,
Tompkins appealing for Robert Hicks to go to the screen.
Tremendous defence from the Dragons. Good hands from Wigan. They find Davis out wide. Look at this nice little touch from Sam Tompkins. Davis goes in, does everything correct like a winger should, tries to stand up Gigot, but Gigot comes up with the play. He knew that he had the strength and the speed to get there.
Well, there's a commitment from the Dragons that I haven't seen in a long time, especially in defence. For 3 players to be on hand, Tom Davis is a quality finisher, and he does the old in and out on the winger, does enough, gives himself enough breathing space, but when those Catalan players join that tackle, they just deny the Wigan winger.
So a let-off for the Catalan Dragons, who lead 10 points to 8. Sam Moa now.
2, move, get square. Go.
Have a breather, he'll be refreshed. And so will Jason Baitieri. But that's good defence from Wigan, really hounding down the Catalan man.
He's not the biggest, is he, Jason Baitieri? He likes to, and he's willing to word a tackle.
Surrender!
Williame,
Stand, hold.
just inside Wigan territory. He plays the ball. Gigot, Sam Moa again, puffs the cheeks. And O'Loughlin and Bateman stand their ground.
Hold, go.
5th tackle. Walsh hoists that one again. It's into Davis and Tompkins territory. It's Tompkins who claims it and then gives it to Davis.
Seem relentless, don't they, in the second half? The Dragons, they've certainly come out firing. This defensive line, they're all really trying to intimidate the Warriors when they're bringing the ball away.
And Horo just doing a bit too much intimidating.
And for me, the difference with this Catalan side is the method that they're using. Very often when we watch the Dragons, they're all madness and not enough method. Well, the method of keeping hold of the ball, respecting possession, getting to the end of the sets, they're only letting themselves down when they're staying in those collisions and tackles a little bit too long for the referee's liking, just as Justin Horo does then.
Wigan, 8th in the table going into this game, the champions in the final top 8 position going into this game. Just shows what a tough season they have had. The catalogue of injuries not helping their cause. Players back and hoping that they can secure their top 8 place in these last couple of rounds now. Bateman has to stretch behind him to take that pass.
One of those players that's been out with injury. Willie Icer picks it up, and during these periods, and Wigan have been really tested. You haven't heard Wigan too many times talk about those injuries, and Sean Wayne has talked about the opportunities available to players.
Here's an opportunity maybe available for Gelling. Davis couldn't take the pass. It's picked up by Lucas Albert, and Catalan have it back. And Braden Williame is in some trouble in back play there. I think that's him down on the ground. Crowd whistling to referee Robert Hicks to give their man a break.
He's letting play go on. And here he goes, Sam Moa.
Moa with the offload, finds Krishnan Inu. Inu has lost the ball and Wigan have it back. Little kick ahead, picked up by Horo, and they'll come back for the original knock-on, and it'll be head and feed to the Warriors.
Well, recognising that it was the free play, they had nothing to lose then, did the Warriors? But the injuries that they have had during the year, but you look at the big guns that they've got back, the spine, the likes of Sam Tompkins, George Williams, Thomas Lulawai, Michael McLaurin, and then the offload here trying to get Davis free. Unfortunately falls over Braden Williame, who's injured.
Get down, guys.
And that's him at the bottom of the screen, leaving the field, just back Braden Williame, having missed 5 games. In fact, he's only been in for 2 of the last 12.
You need one more.
Doesn't look like he's going to make it back. A lot of strapping on.
Yep.
Benjamin Garcia possibly pushing out to the centre.
They're going with 5. They're not putting
I think it's his left leg with the strapping hits the Wigan player, and the force of that contact just bends it at the middle. The only breaking point is actually the knee ligaments, and you can see in the shake of the head he's not happy.
Rolling. Out.
Well, that's a blow for the Catalan Dragons. Williame had shown up well on his return to the side. And that's another penalty.
So do you go for 2 points here if you're a Wigan player, or do you keep the pressure on? Maybe looking the position.
I would go for 2, yeah.
The position where you are, you just take the 2 points. Draw the game level.
We've had 3 in 5 minutes, but that includes a shoulder charge.
Robert Hicks just telling Jason Baitieri that discipline needs to be improved.
Let's keep it going.
Well, I just said to him, you've had 3 penalties in the last 5 minutes.
I'll do it. Okay, I'll have a look at that. I will have a look at that. The mark is just
Jason Baitieri, as ever, just coming back with his interpretation of events. And Wigan still deliberating, I think. Eventually deciding that they will go for the 2.
Well, you take these points the way that the Catalan side have been defending. They've certainly got a different attitude. And always when a coach loses his job at the club, you always get a reaction. And it's not going to happen straight away. They'll not change the way that they play, or the mentality of players who are used to getting beaten, used to conceding tries. But Steve McNamara put good defensive structures in place, and it might not be this year, but it's certainly started to pay dividends in this game.
I have seen a marked difference in lots of little small aspects of Catalan's game. The discipline is the one glaring facet of the game that sticks out.
Well, there we go. 2 more points for Williams. 3 from 3 for him. Scores a level again. 10 points apiece in the sunshine in Perpignan. Vital game this for Wigan. Time running out if they're going to make sure of a Super 8 place, a top 8 place. Warrington to come on Thursday, a game you can see on Sky Sport, and then before the cut-off, Leeds on July the 21st in round 23. There you go, Wigan against Warrington Thursday, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 3. Acrobatic take from Sam Tompkins, Ryan Sutton.
One, move, Paul.
So John Winder, who's in charge of the Warriors today, is rotating the substitutes, bringing on those fresher players. The starting prop forwards now back on in Ryan Sutton and Frank Paul Nuasala.
Now then, Williams. Wigan maybe going to try and go round Catalan now.
Well, first of all, they need to go forward and earn the right to play.
Well, O'Loughlin's doing a good job about that, although he's lost the ball and Bousquet has come up with it.
Well, there was a one-on-one strip with Bousquet. Does Bousquet knock the ball forward? He strips this ball here when he goes in from Sean O'Loughlin. Does he knock the ball forward?
One-on-one, lost forward.
And the referee consults his touch judge, who does say that he strips the ball. This is perfect. He gets rid of Chris Ninu, gets rid of Luke Walsh, doesn't get rid of Bousquet, but gets rid of the ball, and that goes forward.
For me, Jody Broughton has a hand in that.
That's the call, boys.
And I know Wigan will end up with the ball from the scrum, but I think there's a case to say that's a penalty. There's 2 men in that tackle.
Brave call made right in front of the raucous tribune at the Gilbert Brutus, who like to give the referee and the match officials a bit of heat, a bit more heat on a day like today.
And
John Bateman.
Repeat possession for Wigan now. It's been a good while since they've been down this end of the field. What can they throw at the Dragons?
They're in the middle of the field now with Ryan Sutton.
3, move, make me, Luke. Hold here, hold.
3 tackles gone. Here is Luluai. Tompkins again, quick hands from him. Bateman, Davis.
4, move, hold, go.
Here goes Gelling, and Gelling flings the ball backwards. McIlorum. Here is Bateman once more. Heath offloads to Tompkins. Wigan keeping this one alive. O'Loughlin now passes on the ground to Gildart. Gildart turns and then takes them on himself, gets the pass away to Burgess, and Burgess will get his second of the game. Wonderfully well-worked try from the Wigan Warriors. They did go round the edge in the end, and Burgess, a more conventional finish from the wingman for his second of the game, his 15th of the season.
There were signs of this just towards the back end of the first half, where some offloads came from Bateman first, then Sean O'Loughlin. It's a loose pass, hits the floor, but the Wigan players are good enough to react to it. Oliver Gildart does a perfect job for his winger, and Joe Burgess, like Duport, gets his second of the game.
Does well, doesn't he, Oliver Gildart? He's got three players that they've only got eyes for him in Luke Walsh, Chris Ninu, Geordie Broughton. That's why Joe Burgess finds that space out wide. And John Winder, Matty Pete, I'll be happy with the way that the side has performed over the last 10 minutes especially.
Joe Burgess all smiles. First one was finished on his hands and knees. That one just ghosted down that left-hand edge. And the Wigan players, as Williams lines up that kick, are marching back towards that end of the ground where their supporters are greeting them like conquering heroes. Are they going to be conquering heroes in Perpignan? They are 4 points ahead as it stands.
Big kick here from George Williams.
Williams from out wide hasn't missed one yet. Oh, so close.
The skill here, just have a little look at Oliver Gildart. The offload here looked like there'd been a bit of panic. Sean O'Loughlin at the line, nice and direct. Just have a look at what everyone's looking around. Geordie Broughton's looking, who's got Oliver Gildart? Luke Walsh is out wide defending. Chris Ninu's beaten on the inside, and it's a big play from the centre, Oliver Gildart.
It's a little bit of class from Oliver Gildart, and his team, the Wigan Warriors, need to hold the nerve now. They haven't forced passes, they haven't found passes when they aren't on. They've been patient. I think both teams have been patient when they've needed to be, and they've done this part of the game really well. Just going into the last quarter of this draining, enthralling match.
Enthralling's the word. Really tight contest. Massive improvement from the Catalan Dragons in this contest. And still a quarter of the game to go. Wigan could cut loose here.
Could say the same about the Dragons as well, couldn't you? You've got enough firepower to score a couple of tries.
Luluai hoists the kick. It's Gigo who's underneath it, and then flicks the ball away to Jody Broughton. Broughton back with a couple of tries in the last couple of games, but he's another one who missed so much of the season, has got some ground to make up. He was out for 15 games, Jody Broughton, and they really have missed his firepower. Here is Chris Naninu now.
Move now, Sean. Hold me. Hold. Go.
I'd say that they need a penalty here, not a mistake like that.
Mistake from Williame, who looks as though he's miraculously back on the field.
No.
He's back on, but he's not right, is he? You can see.
Don't mind him having a bit of a dig, but not an obvious one.
No agility. He's almost running on one leg, Williame, but needs must for the Dragons.
Well, even in that situation, carrying the ball, it wasn't as though the ball was behind him. It might have been a touch high, but man of Braden Williame's quality should take that. Probably it could be the nerves setting in as the Wigan fans sense that this could be their day.
It's great, the trip to Perpignan, isn't it? It's an opportunity to wear your hanky on your head and things like that. This mercurial, unpredictable centre, Gelling almost went without that one, and then gets the ball away to Davis, and in comes Lambert Belmas, another one of these youngsters who's come to the aid of the side with their injury and suspension problems this week.
Go.
McIlorum, Luluai, and here is Bateman, and Bateman to Tompkins,
Move.
but Tompkins gets
Hold
ball
here.
and Willie Ame at the same point. Here's Nuasala now driving the ball in and then trying to offload. Aiton comes round to stop him doing that.
Goal line.
McIlorum sizing things up. Luluai. They're going to try this side again, and Davis will go for it. Gigot just knees it into safety, and they'll concede the goal line dropout, and Wigan will be happy with that.
Good reactions from Sam Tompkins, again recognising that the space, the wingers in, they weren't going to beat the Dragons by running over the top of them. He couldn't get the ball cleanly away to his winger Davis, so he drops it onto his boot. Nice weighted kick. Another set of 6 here.
If you're trying to put a sentence at the side of these two teams at the minute, you would say that the Catalan Dragons have the engine and have the energy. They look like they're more accustomed to this weather. But you'd also say that Wigan have the class and the patience. Who's going to win?
16 minutes on the clock as Sutton looks as though he's got plenty of energy and drives it back towards Sam Moa. Moa makes the tackle, Baitieri in there as well.
Keep off the
Wigan
leaders, Jason.
from that goal line dropout looking to capitalise. Nuasala with a strong drive. McIlorum picks up. Sutton once more, the big men doing the heavy duty work at the moment.
Certainly in the ascendancy, aren't they, the Warriors?
O'Loughlin, the pass scooped up by Thomas Luluai, then on to Farrell. Farrell tackled by Horrow and Walsh. McIlorum looked to go down the short side, then comes back infield. O'Loughlin, a little skip and a step from him, gets the pass away somehow as he was upended. Picked up by Tompkins. Tompkins off to Williams. Wigan toying with the Catalan defenders again. O'Loughlin manages to offload to Williams, and Williams slices through, dots the ball down, and another wonderfully well-crafted try from the Wigan Warriors. It does look as though maybe now they're getting the upper hand in this game. And George Williams, 7th try of the season. And again, the Wigan fans on their feet and jubilant. And they kept Catalan Dragons defenders moving then, and Williams eventually found a way through.
Well, the 22-year-old has over 100 appearances for Wigan. He's got a lot of experience. John Bateman's offloading game has caused some problems, but the little show and go, he's very determined, George Williams. He comes around, he's a running threat. He's got so much to offer his side. And that's an important try, and maybe the try that Wigan need just to pull away from a determined Dragon side.
And I think Sean O'Loughlin's teammates will give him a little bit of a pat on the back. He was involved in that set of 6 on 2 separate occasions. It was a scruffy offload that he found, but those scruffy offloads, sometimes they look like that, but it's all about the reactions of your teammates. They pounced on that ball. There's a fractured, broken line, and there will be a chance and an opportunity in a slightly open door somewhere. Williams found it.
George Williams has had to wait for a while for that try. His last one was at Lee in June. But his goal kicking is as accurate as ever. Just the one miss in this one. And the coaching team with head coach Sean Wayne back home, recovering from surgery, well, breathing a little easier maybe now.
Well, Sean Wayne will love the work ethic of his standoff there. He puts that pass in to John Bateman, stays on his toes, gets back involved. A little nice show and go from the England standoff is enough to get another try for the Warriors, to the delight of those travelling fans. It is a glorious sight, that, in the away end of the Stade Gilbert Brutus.
Here is Tony Clubb back in action after that kidney operation.
Move, Remy! Back here, Justin. Hold.
His first appearance was last week against Widnes, and he was immediately on the scoreboard.
2, move, get square. Hold, good.
Now, Joe Burgess, 2 tries to his name in this one, and biggest gap between the two sides in this game so far, 20 points to 10. And have Wigan now seen off the challenge, and it has been a good challenge from Catalan.
There's an injury
Farrell's got
there.
a bang on the knee there.
It was a forceful challenge from Catalan, and it forced Liam Farrell almost doubled back over. And he's not a player to seek and want attention unless there's a genuine problem. Steve Blakely, the Wigan physio, having a look at that left knee. Hopefully it's an impact injury rather than a twist or a tweak.
Well, he puts his hand up, the physio from Wigan, Steve Blakely. Former Wigan junior and Salford Red Devils. And there you go, there's one happy Warriors supporter. Brought his cap with him, expecting the hot weather.
Over the line, guys, over the line.
Look at that, just an awkward tackle. Just twisted over Jason Bateri, but he's okay to play on.
He's just hobbling right at the top of the picture there, Liam Farrell. At the bottom of the picture, it's Sam Tompkins, and Tompkins looks up and sees Remy Casti winding up and then gets the pass away.
And from that offload, a kick from Luluai, choosing territory over possession. And that tells me that Wigan are prepared to back their own defence here now. They'll try and exert some pressure while they're defending. Obviously, they need a clean set of 6. And Sean O'Loughlin drives Catalan back.
You can recharge those batteries by doing the right things, respecting the ball, respecting possession, and then when it's time to defend, you're full of energy.
Wigan heading for a top 8 finish now. They've got to do the job against Warrington on Thursday night to ensure that. But this, if they see this one out, as Casti, oh, it goes without the ball. Remy Casti after a weaving run. And now Tompkins will counter. But Samoa makes sure he doesn't make too much progress. But Wigan look on course for a top 8 finish. Catalan losing this on course for a bottom 4, and they'll have to take their place in the qualifiers. On the evidence of this, though, there'll be tough opposition in the qualifiers.
It's a much better performance from Catalan.
They've still got a couple of games to come. Catalan, St Helens away, and they round things off in round 23 with the Castleford Tigers at Gilbert Brutus.
They look more purposeful. The looks, again, a little bit more structure. Structure is an overused word in our game. A little bit more structure to what they're doing.
Gildart, lovely chip and chase, goes without it in the end. Couldn't quite keep a hold of it. Are they going to keep Liam Farrell out there because he was hobbling again?
Well, he's just going to see if he can obviously run the play-off, but you can see Steve Blakely on the top of the screen, just walking towards the sideline. He loses the ball. Gildart under pressure from Gigot. George Williams not waiting around for that call, he just grounds the ball.
That's a worry if Liam Farrell has picked up an injury that might keep him out of next week. Really important match, as we say, against Warrington. They need those competition points.
They're not home and dry yet, but Catalan maybe have run out of steam or are running out of steam, and the Wigan defence is proving very solid in this second half.
I'd say it's where they've played the game, Bill, in the last 15-20 minutes, Catalan. All the action seems to be down near their own sticks. Been very difficult for them. The outside backs, as we've referenced, and give them a lot of credit for bringing the ball back. That shows how deflated the forwards have been.
Well, look at that, 4 tackles gone, and they're only just on their own 30. That was O'Loughlin's tackle on Broughton, and he forces the error.
Just look at Liam Farrell in back play. He's still limping, but Sean O'Loughlin, his involvements for Wigan latterly in his career, he's 34 years of age. He might not play 80 minutes as often as he used to, but his involvements are always quality, and they lift the team around him. He's packing down at loose forward.
He's a genuine leader, Sean O'Loughlin. I remember him coming through the system. Always had the respect of the senior players. He stepped up, took over the captaincy, and as I said earlier on in the game, he knows exactly when to slow the game down, speed it up. He's not afraid of doing all the hard work. He's got the skill as well to create something.
And he's a team player as well. I'm going to correct myself. He's packing down at hooker, because that then allows Michael McAlorum to be at the back of the scrum, and it's a nice crisp pass from out the scrum.
Gelling eventually brought down about 20 metres out, deep in Catalan territory anyway. And Wigan, Sutton's gone without it.
Let's play on.
And Gigot will pick it up, and zero tackle.
Sutton had the ball stripped. It went backwards. Catalan get possession.
Have they got the energy to do anything with it? Have they got the energy to mount another fight back in the last 10 minutes? Well, good work from Inu.
Have they got the energy? Have they got the time left to break down this Wigan side?
I think their energy is good. I think it's the desire that's suffered. They look demoralised at the minute.
Busquet gets the pass away. Back to Walsh. Walsh on to Casti. Casti is met by O'Loughlin.
Back up, back, Tony, go.
3 tackles gone so far this set of 6. It's with Horo. Horo puts a little kick in. Broughton was impeded. The ball finds touch. Catalan players protesting.
Third player, Horo, kicks the ball. It's 2-on-2. You just bide your time. You come up with another 2 players. I know if Jody Broughton comes up with a try, it was the correct thing to do, but you've got 2 more tackles close to Wigan's line. You've made some metres up the field, and Luke Walsh is the man that then needs to control and try and organise and create something.
It is interesting, Tez. I see what you're saying, but kicks have been the undoing of both defences during this match. We haven't seen too many line breaks. We haven't seen a pass that has split defences. It's all been about the kicking game. Admittedly, Horo's not the right person. His ambition was great, but his skill just let him down a little bit.
Slight delay as there's no ball at the moment.
Which is a key ingredient for the game, Bill.
Keep your heads in till the ball is out. Keep your heads in till the ball is out.
Apparently.
There it is, in the possession of George Williams. Crucial try in the second half from him. 2 crucial tries from this man, Joe Burgess.
Surrender!
The brains needs to come to the fore for both sides now. That's a quality carry from Tom Davis, who's done that all day. It's been his work coming away from the line. I was going to talk about the intelligence, the decision makers, the people that can speed and slow games according to the wants and needs. So Luke Walsh, if Catalan want to get back into the game, he needs to have a bigger influence. And Luluai and Williams, it's George Williams putting the ball out of play. He needs to marshal and push and prod his troops to the position and the parts of the field that he wants.
Casti conceding the penalty there, desperate to try and force the error, just flung himself into the tackle.
Hold me, hold, go.
Almost reckless. But it's a Wigan penalty. Can they capitalise on this one? They'll just be happy to keep Catalan up at this end of the field, work their way through the rest of the game. If more points come their way, so be it, but not allow Catalan any way back into this game. Here is Tompkins drifting across the field. Willie Isa back to Tompkins. Tompkins, nice offload to O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin to Sutton. Sutton on to Bateman, who's had an outstanding second half as well.
4, move,
10 metres out.
Hold here, Remy. Hold. Go.
As Bateman plays the ball, McIlorum finds O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin short ball to big Tony Clubb, and Clubb trying to wrestle his way free to offload, but he is held, cries the referee. That's the 5th tackle. McIlorum stabs a little grubber kick in. It's been played at, and it comes up for the Catalan Dragons in the end, but Tompkins has gone down on the ball. The referee is given the try. It was bouncing around. It looked as though Gigot got a hold of it, but then it came free again.
Michael McIlorum pats it up to who he thinks is Sam Tompkins. Catalan secure possession. I think Sam Tompkins helps the ball on the way. When Catalan pick it up, let's have a look and watch it unfold.
I think this is a try here for the Warriors. Well, that ball is
Inu
lost.
that collects it and then Tompkins knocks it out?
Look, McIlorum, he passes the ball to Gigot. Gigot loses this ball. Tompkins grounds the ball. This is a try.
Jody Broughton can only stand and watch.
This is the best angle.
It's clear cut for the video referee, Chris Kendall, from the other angle that we saw.
Was O'Loughlin onside? Is that anything to do with this?
The ball's not stripped. The ball's on the ground. Sam Tompkins' hand comes on the ball. It's a try.
It looks like it's the first try of 2017 for Sam Tompkins. It is. That rounds it off. Probably won't see an uglier try than that. But Sam Tompkins claims it.
It's exactly what they wanted. They wouldn't have minded as well. Just building that pressure. The game was in the bag. They'd done all the hard work. They had a good 20-minute spell in the second half, and the fans are going wild. You know, it's been a tough all day. The Catalan side have certainly troubled the Warriors. They've only scored 10 points themselves, but the way that the Warriors have reacted, played the conditions, worked hard with the referee, showed a lot of discipline as well.
And George Williams scored a try, kicked the goals. Just one miss from him, been a big influence on this Wigan effort, which is going to yield 2 priceless points.
Well, you can just see in the background Mark Bickham, the conditioner for Wigan Warriors. He'll get a big pat on the back by Shaun Wane, who's observing this match. It's the condition of the players, the fitness levels that they've got, that's kept them in this game and pushed them out in front.
And the Wigan fans maybe heading for the exits, heading for the refreshment points outside the ground.
It's important you rehydrate in warm weather, Bill.
10 points to 26 at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. And Wigan, after this miserable run that they were in, 6 defeats and 2 draws. Then they got back on track against Widnes last week with a 28-12 win, and maybe not at their best in that one, but good enough to see off the Vikings. And they've had to be good, a lot better than they have been in recent weeks to do the job in Perpignan on a very determined Catalan Dragons side. Into the last 5 minutes. And Wigan looking to really ram home their superiority now. Could be more points for them in the closing minutes here. Burgess maybe fancy a hat-trick in this one. It's with Tompkins. Tompkins, he's got the centre of the try line now. Little kick ahead. Davis might pick it up. Tompkins will. Oh, Tompkins just in touch.
A foot in touch from Sam Tompkins. He dabs that ball through. Again, another kick causing defences trouble, but Tony Gigot does just enough. Creativity from the fullback. With the game in the bag now, 16 points in front, he decided to just have a little go at it. Wry smile from the fullback.
But not much respite for the Wigan Warriors. Back on the plane after this one, back home, and time to rehab and rest up before their next assignment, which is the Warrington Wolves Thursday night. As we've said, game you can see on Sky Sports. And Catalan Dragons head for St Helens for their penultimate game in this first phase of the season before the Super 8s and qualifiers start. And Wigan, on the back of this, look good for their involvement in it. Here is Williams now. Williams, free play, puts the kick in. Davis will chase. Dupont, who's worked hard for the Dragons, bats that one dead, but looks dejected, Vince Dupont. It has been a big effort from Catalan.
It's been a huge effort from the Dragons, but the second half, the game's just gone away from him. Again, it's pressure from Mickey McLaurin, who forces that error.
Tom Davis.
The error's made, and then all of a sudden on that free play, they spot that space out wide, and Tom Davis, I think he's been sensational in this game.
Well, he deserves a try. He's worked so hard for his team at the other end of the pitch. The right winger just couldn't get hold of the ball. I think Catalan Dragons, to assess both sides, it's been a massive improvement for Wigan Warriors, and they've got the result. They won in that game against Widnes last week, but they weren't happy with the way that they played. I think Catalan will play a lot worse and win. So some positives for the Dragons as well.
Here's Tony Clubb. Positive for him. He's back in action after that kidney operation. Kidney removed. Oh, the ball batted over the top. He will get his hat-trick. Joe Burgess. Steve McNamara just down at the sideline to see the Wigan winger cross in the corner for his third of the game.
Well, some good stuff from Wigan, some deception, runners just engaging the attention of Catalan defenders. George Williams scored on 65, Tompkins on 73, and the latest try, 3 tries late on for the Warriors. Unfortunate for the Dragons, but that's the ruthless edge that we haven't seen a lot of in 2017's. It looks like it's returning for the Warriors. Bird and Myler probably going down to the sideline to congratulate, maybe pat on the back some of those players who put maximum effort in for the Dragons.
Scoreline will indicate maybe a comfortable Wigan win, but apart from this last 10 minutes or so, it has been anything but comfortable. As Williams is on target again. He has added to the pressure on the Catalan Dragons with his goal kicking.
They've really challenged the Warriors, and that pass from George Williams, but it was his run that created the problem. When he goes straight and direct, he holds up the defenders out there on the right-hand side for Steve McNamara. He holds them up, the space is out wide. He had to deliver that ball. Another player who I think's played really well in this game in the second half, John Bateman. He made his debut back in 2011 as a 17-year-old for Bradford in the south of France, and he's gone on to bigger and better things internationally.
Williams 6 from 7 with his goal kicking. That's been a big factor in this game, and he's up against the master in Luke Walsh as well, so that is some result in that goal kicking duel. Walsh, of course, hasn't had as many opportunities, but Williams has kicked the ones that have come his way. Here he is now.
He's been good off the tee. He's also been good kicking the ball out of hand, and his running game, his running threat. And we saw on that last try, his pass, it wasn't the cleanest and clearest of pass, but there's a kick from Michael McElaurum, a pressure relieving kick.
The coach back home recovering from hip surgery as the hooter sounds. We wish him a speedy recovery, and that performance from his side, that victory by 32 points to 10, will certainly lift his spirits, because not only does it set Wigan up for involvement in that top 8, but it suggests that when that top 8 does get underway, they could yet figure in the shake-up come the end of the season. Players coming back, and Wigan, well, they've got the armoury, and they've got the spirit, and they've got the win. Catalan Dragons 10, Wigan Warriors 32, a hat-trick for Joe Burgess, an entertaining hat-trick as well, and George Williams kicking 6 from 7. Dupont with a double for the Dragons. They are heading for the qualifiers. Still a couple of games to go for both, but Wigan up to 7th, as you can see. They go above the Giants, who aren't home and dry yet, which makes Thursday's game very important. Catalan in 10th, and the points difference makes it very difficult for them to get out of that bottom 4 now. So Wigan, a successful journey to France. There's more live action on Sky Sports coming up tomorrow. First test, day 4, as England take on South Africa, pressing for victory. Coverage starts from 10 AM on Sky Sports 2, and the Austrian Grand Prix. Our coverage starts from 11:30 AM from Austria. Sky Sports 1, Sky Sports Formula 1 for that. And more Super League action to look forward to, which will involve the Wigan Warriors. Big game for them. Big game for the Warrington Wolves. That's on Thursday, 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 3 for that one. And then on Friday, the top 2 as it stands in action. Salford with a game against Leeds coming up on Sunday. But Castleford Tigers against the Salford Red Devils, 7:30. Sky Sports 3 for that on Friday. Wigan will head home with 2 precious Super League points in the bag, and a tonic for the coach back home recovering from his operation. Get well soon is the message from the players and the fans in Perpignan.
Enjoy Sky Sports Live. On all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.